Hi guys, I just moved to my new house today, but I had a lot of requests to make a video about how to make an animated GIF or Flipbook type video for Instagram, Facebook, or other electronic means, and so I'm going to teach you guys how to do that. We're going to use Lightroom and Photoshop to do this, but before we hop into our editors, I want to talk a little bit about how to shoot these videos and what you need to do to shoot them. So you're going to need to put your camera on like continuous or burst mode to try to get a lot of frames in succession. And to do this, you're going to need a faster memory card and a camera that shoots a high frame rate. You can do it with a low frame rate camera if you can only shoot like 4 frames per second, but it's just going to look a little more angular, which that's totally okay. Mine can do about 11. And all you need is the capability to do it for about 2 seconds. So 1, 1000, 2, 1000 on your camera. And most cameras will be able to do this, especially with a higher speed card. The other thing is you're going to want to lock your focus on your camera. So you can either do this by holding down focus, back button focus, or you can throw it into manual mode, which I do a lot, is I just put it in manual mode and then your focus will stay wherever your lens is focused. Because you don't want it hunting back and forth through frames while you're making one of these. So once you have a sequence of photos shot, you will load them into Lightroom as normal, and then you'll find the first one in the sequence that you want to use. For me, it's this photo of them holding hands right before a twirl. So I'm taking this photo and I'm editing it to however I want the final image to look across all images. And in this case, I've used Maston Labs Portrait Pushed 400+1. And I'm also cropping it, and I crop it to 4:5 because that is what Instagram natively uses as their like largest, longest size. So 4:5. And then I'm going to select all of them, and I'm going to sync across all of my settings because I want them to all be exactly the same. So here I'm in Lightroom, syncing every photo to be the same, and then you can go through and check them and make sure they're all the same. So I've done that already. Then I'm going to select all of them, and I'm going to hit export. So when you export, here I'm choosing, I'm making a new folder to put all of these in. You can see I've already preloaded them because I don't want you guys to have to sit and wait while my slow computer tries to export every file. So you do a new folder, and usually I put that folder inside wherever my exports are for whatever gallery I'm going to deliver this in. So there it is, Flipbook example. So rename to, this is actually quite important. So I changed this to custom, rename to custom, and sequence starting number. So you clear whatever's in here, whatever is by default, and you select sequence number. And then done. And then it'll start the sequence number at number 1. So then it's going to tell, what it's telling my computer to just do is export all these files labeled 1 through 18. So I have them in order. I know what number they are in the sequence. It's just really easy to see if any of your frames are out of order and troubleshoot problems that way. And then it's also easy for your computer to classify them. File export settings, I just keep the quality at 100. Image resizing, I resize my images to 1080 pixels on the short edge. That's 1080p video. The reason I do this is because Instagram can only handle 1080 video. If you try to give it something higher than 1080, like 4K video, it's going to automatically downsize that. And I want to be the one downsizing it on my professional editing tools rather than whatever Instagram and whatever software they've created is smushing that down. So 1080, there's no reason to have it really higher than that. And then sharpening, I do not sharpen this because it's going to be for a video. And then I just export the files. And then it will load 18 files into that folder. And next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to hop right over to Photoshop. So here I am in Photoshop. Once you get to Photoshop, your files are exported, looking how you want them to look. You'll go File, you'll come down to Scripts. And under Scripts, there will be an option that says Load Files into Stack. Select that option. You'll get this window that pops up, Load Layers. Browse to that folder that you just exported them to. Here I am, Flipbook example, and I can see my files are here, 1 through 18. And I open those files. Now it's weird here, you'll see they load in out of order for whatever reason. but there's also an option to sort them by name. So when I press this button right here, sort by name, it will load them 1 through 18, and I click OK. And this is going to open a new Photoshop document in the canvas size that your photos are in, so in 1080 on the short side. And it's going to label them, or it's going to put them in a stack here in the layers, and it's going to be 1 through 18. Just the way I had those selected and they exported, it starts with the kiss, but that's fine for me. So I have 1 through 18 here in my layers. You can go Command A, or sorry, not Command A. I forget the shortcut. It's Option Command A. Option Command A to select all layers. So I've selected all of my layers here, and then I'm going to go Command C, and that's going to copy all of my layers. And I'm going to go Command V, and that's going to paste all my layers. You can do all this same commands by going File, Copy, and File, Paste. So now I have 2 of the exact same things in order in my layers. 1 through 18 and 1 through 18. I'm going to select the second sequence of 1 through 18 down here halfway through, and I'm going to come up to here under Layers in the top of Photoshop, and down here there's a subheading Arrange, Reverse. So now I have them in 1 through 18 and 18 through 1. So if I played that once, it would go, and then it would reverse it right at the last frame. So you're creating like an Instagram boomerang effect where it's like first frame to last frame to first frame. So it can loop endlessly without looking like it just resets at the last frame. So I'm not done here yet. You can either use that shortcut and select all your layers again, or select them by hand. And then I'm going to copy those, Command Copy, and then Command Paste. Now this is going to play it a second time. And then Command Paste. And then Command Paste, and then Command Paste. So now I've just done that 5 times. So it should play through 5 times, and with the amount of frames I have, it'll give me like 30 seconds or something, which is as much as I need. Instagram will replay your videos automatically, but Facebook will end them. So I want it to go at least 30 seconds. That's probably as far as somebody's going to watch this. They've watched the same thing 3 times over by the 3rd time, and they'll realize it's just a looping thing. Okay, so here, then you'll come down to your timeline. Here, timeline, I'm not sure. It may not be open for everyone by default. Just because I do this, my timeline on the bottom is open. You may need to go to Window and select Timeline right here to get your timeline to show up. But once it's there, you should have this option here to create frame animation. And you're going to click that, and you'll see here, it only loads the whatever your first layer is. So I come over here to this dashed line right here on the right side of the timeline, and I'm going to make frames from layers. And I click that. It's going to take a second, and then it just loaded all of those layers into my frames here in my timeline. Now you can press play right away, and you can see what it's done. There we go. We got a GIF. This will play like 5 times. Alright, there's one more thing here that you can do. You can edit the speed between each frame, or how long it holds on each frame. I'm going to do that. I am going to select, where is this? Select all frames right here, and then I'm going to come click on this little arrow, and if I want it to be a little slower and not so much just like a straight video, I'll delay it 0.1 seconds. So now it's a little choppier, kind of like an old-timey video that was filmed at a lower frame rate. And that's the look I like. It's like 0.1 seconds or 0.2 seconds. So now from here, I see all my frames in here, 180 frames total. I'm going to go, you're pretty much ready to export now. So a lot of people use a method, and I think I did at first a few times, where you can go to Save for Web and export this as a GIF. I don't like that. GIF is not a versatile format as an MP4. You can pretty much put an MP4 anywhere, and it's less compressed than a GIF would be, I believe. It's just the way I like to do it, and the way I found that has best quality. So I'll go File, Export. under File, Export, you come all the way down, you'll see Render Video. You select Render Video. Here it'll let you rename it, so I'll say Flipbook Final. I'll select a folder. It's here in Flipbook Example where the files were loaded from. And these presets, if you don't know a lot about them, don't worry about them. But basically this is like your MP4 format is H.264 codec, and you'll just keep it at high quality. 1080 by 1350 is 1080 video at a 4:5 aspect ratio. 30 frames per second is just what this timeline is at right down here, and 24 and 30 are pretty common for web uploads, so I'm going to keep it at 30. And I'm going to click Render. Alright guys, thank you for watching my video on how to make a GIF or flipbook style video. I hope I wasn't too fast explaining anything or was clear enough. If I wasn't, please comment below and I'll try to respond to as many people as I can. Also, if you see things that I'm doing wrong or things that you figured out that are better for maybe you or other people, please comment those. I'd love to refine my process, and if I'm doing something not to the best of best practices, then I'd love to hear about it. So if you liked the video and want to say thank you, the best thing you can do is go to my social media, like Instagram.com/grainandveil, which is my wedding photography, and spread some social currency. So give me a follow there, maybe like a few of my posts, and help me in my particular market. So I hope that was helpful. Thanks again, guys.